Okay, so looking at the first row here, I feel that a lot of you have recently made drastic changes, and I feel that you were the one implementing these changes in your life. Okay, so this is a situation where it could involve relocation. It could involve, moving away from a past situation, physical relocation, or, changing homes, changing the structure of your foundation. And especially, I do see a little bit of a frazzled energy about this. So it wasn't an entirely smooth transition, okay? So it's kind of leaving you high and dry at this point. And you're kind of like at this point picking up the pieces and salvage what's left of your life, and you're trying to move forward, okay? So this card, though, it's coming out very early, and I am doing this reading on the 26th of May. So I do feel this is residual energy, mainly because it's coming out, as the first card in the spread, but also because we have the Hermit card in the upright position right next to it. So this is a card of Virgo, but I am going to read this as you. And what it is you're shining light, or at least re-examining the things that did not make you happy in the past, okay? And at the same time, this is a wish card. So this is a wish fulfillment, like landing that job, going to school, or even, getting that ideal relationship that you're hoping for. You're shining light on this matter, and things that have made you very unhappy in the past, things that didn't go right in your life, things that didn't go the way that you anticipated, the way that you planned. And you're basically putting all your eggs in one basket and hoping for this really great, amazing outcome that would, make you emotionally fulfilled. And you're shedding light on that past behavior. I do feel it is the things that that you had control over, and you're learning from past mistakes, and you are moving forward with a lot more clarity, with a lot more, I would say, like a better game plan as to how not to make that same mistake, first of all, and how to do it better the next time, how to implement new projects, how to do things in a better, with that can be conducive to a better outcome in the future, okay? So a lot of this introspection is going to happen for this month. For those of you who are dealing with a Virgo person in particular, this Virgo person will actually allow you to re-examine your past actions, your life, and they're going to allow you they might help you with formulating a new strategy in order to move past this situation. And it's interesting because Mercury is going retrograde until June 11th of this month. And Mercury is your ruler as well as Virgo's ruler. So what I am sensing here is this is also the planet Mercury, and it is forcing you to re-examine the things that have happened in the past in your life that you were not completely happy with. And at the same time, it's saying that you can't start new things unless you revisit all those things that happened in the past. And by revisit, I would say, mentally sort out why they didn't work, emotionally, like find closure to them, rather than going back to old people, old situations, okay? So I don't feel the energy is conducive for physically going back to old situations or old people, because you're kind of blocked here by a major arcana card. So it's just doing this in your head and in your mind and in your heart, so that you understand your role in that past situation as well as other people's roles. But I'm sensing here is mainly your role, because it is a solitary card. And this situation here is, having like really high hopes and expectations and putting your eggs in one basket. And when things didn't pan out the way you planned, it was just like you were very shattered, okay? So moving forward, you're going to have to do some, self-analysis, re-examination of the past situation here, so that in the future you can take a different approach, okay? So for this month, I do feel in general there is quite a bit of waiting. So I have, let's see. Yeah, I have three cards of generally, they echo the same theme, which is, you can't really start projects this month, and you're going to have to wait, okay? and as the weight is going to be good for you in general. So it would be very moving forward. I think the weight would be very beneficial for you. Okay, so really take the time to do that. And usually, you know, the last three cards here would be pretty much the last week of the month, and you're still in a period of suspension. So you're still waiting at this point, and you're waiting on other people. You're waiting on the actions, the decisions of other people. Okay, you're waiting for things to quiet down on the front lines, basically. So this is kind of like you're just waiting for this situation to end. Okay, this is a battle. This is a great disagreement. It could also be disputes between friends, family, loved ones, also in the work front. So it's also like not getting your paperwork together as well. And there are just there's a little bit of chaos in, you know, the office front, for example, and you're not getting the submissions that you sent out, or something like that. They haven't received it, or either they've received it and they're battling amongst themselves as to how they want to proceed. So they're not giving you, you know, the information that you need. So even towards the end of this month, the very last card is still indicative of waiting. Okay, this is taking a step back, taking a break from the fighting, and to recuperate your strength, your stamina, so that you can fight another day. And I do feel a lot of you, you know, recently too have changed residence, for example, and is probably not going the way that you had hoped for. Okay, so there might be disputes with roommates, for example, or whoever it is that you're living with, or the living situation itself. There were miscommunications between who's paying what, and, you know, who's responsible for what part of the rent, for example, or how many people actually live there. Okay, so that can be problematic, and it is going to, that energy is going to create a few arguments for this month. So you are kind of like battle scarred. You're really tired of it. You just want to rest, you know. So actually use this Mercury in retrograde to rest, and, you know, just rest assured that communication problems are going to run rampant, especially for the first 2 weeks. So it's important to take that in strides, and, you know, take everything everyone says with a grain of salt, so that you're not letting the words affect you. Okay, and also be very careful if you have recently moved too. There might be repairs that need to be done, and while they seem like they're emergency repairs, it's actually not a good time for the first 2 weeks to do major repairs on your car, on your house, on your living environment, especially if it is dealing with water. You might be dealing with like leaky faucets, leaky sinks, roofs, and, you know, things like that. Even electrical wiring. I would say even electrical wiring. So it is problematic, but try your best to, you know, wait for the repairs, like towards the end of the week, unless they are posing like a potential health hazard, or, you know, a danger to you. Okay, so be very careful with that. So what I am also picking up here, I mentioned earlier, if you in the past have been attached to somebody who is potentially seeing somebody else, and you didn't know about this situation, I do feel that even like in May, a lot of this new information came to light, and instead of, you know, thinking that what I'm sensing here is a lot of you might be in a relationship in which you're kind of seeing someone, and then you suspect that they might have a mistress or a mister on the side, but then it turns out that, you know, you're the third person. So I feel that was revealed for a lot of you in May, if that's the situation that you're coping with, and now you're, you know, trying to, first of all, recover from the aftermath. Okay, and you're going to be able to successfully let it go by the end of this month. So I do feel this was something that came in potentially in since the beginning of this Mercury retrograde, like since May 18th, 19th, and so on. So this is residual energy, once again, that you are dealing with. And this situation itself is very upsetting, but it's not going to affect you on an emotional level by the end of this month, okay? It's still going to make you angry when you think about it, but I don't feel it is going to make you, it's going to emotionally rattle you the way it did in May or even at the very beginning of this month, okay? And for those of you who are like kind of seeing somebody who might be attached and you're knowingly doing this, I feel that that relationship is going to run its course by the middle of this month. So that's another energy here. For those who are out and about, dating and or in very, very stable relationships, I do sense that, communication problems are going to run rampant. So be very careful for the first 2 weeks how you or the other, your spouse, your partner, the people you're dating are communicating. I do feel there are discrepancies in value system, beliefs, etc., that might make the communication issues a lot more magnified. Okay, so once again, it is a cosmic energy and we are just going to have to, I guess, go through it. It is going to affect you and Virgos more than the other sign. I feel that Libra is feeling it too because it is in Libra. But I do sense in general, Mercury being you and Virgo's ruler, it is going to affect you more. So take this time off to really, watch what you say. Don't overanalyze and don't let other people's words get to you, because most likely they don't mean what they said. They don't mean it to sound hurtful the way you interpret it in your head and vice versa. So just, take everything with a grain of salt, but at the same time, really use this time to reflect on the next phase in your life, because you have a lot of red light types of energy. So I would say that it's not until the middle of the month that you're going to see some drastic shift, okay? And it's a shift in the way people interact with one another. It could be you and multiple people, you in a work environment, in an interpersonal relationship environment, or any type of a communication capacity. There's going to be a great shift. And I do feel that this shift in the reverse position, it is as expected, okay? It is something that you are aware that needs to change for the betterment of your life. So don't be afraid of it. I feel that you are going to be fine. So if you look at this, you're kind of falling out of the tower, okay? And you're landing on your feet, and there's a little bit of a scratch on your head, but that's pretty much it. Okay, you're going to be fine. So don't worry about this, the way this card is laid out. I do feel more than anything, next time you're going to be careful. This is also, somebody who's very on guard, who is vigilant, okay, who's vigilant. So we learn life lessons. Unfortunately, most of us learn the hard way, but they teach us meaningful and also very potent lessons so that we can don't either make the same mistakes, or that we are on guard about other people that might potentially bring trouble and harm into our lives, okay? So that's a situation that can play out. And at the same time, I also have the Seven of Pentacles here. So the financial situation for you guys in general for this month is looking very good. For those of you who have recently relocated, started new work, I do feel that you're going to be on top of things, okay? This is not going to come in until the very last week too. So, all that red light energy for the first 3 weeks will be blocked. But then for the last week, this is when you're reaping the rewards, okay? You're looking back at your hard work and you're looking at the payout, all right? So this is a very good card to get. And I feel that underneath this card here, which indicates, going back to a prior situation, not being able to let go, but in this context, we have a Pentacles card underneath it, which indicates to me you probably are getting unexpected financial compensation. But I would also say, if you've been lending people from the past money, all of that is coming in for you this last week, okay, of this month. And what I am sensing here as well is if there are people that owe you money and they keep flaking out on repayments, it's a good time to, give them a heads up and just tell them, I recently moved. I really need that money back, because I want to get my life together, for example. So that can potentially come in for you, and it's going to require that you, towards the last week of this month, readdress that issue with people. If it's a finance related, okay, if it's love, I don't suggest it. But if it's finance related, or if it's like work projects related, they've never paid you properly, then definitely go back so that you can get what's owed to you. And I feel that a lot of you will have a big financial payout, okay? It's not a lump sum of money, but I feel like it's multiple installments of money, and it adds up. So either way, it looks very good. So with this lump sum of money, the universe is urging you not to spend it, okay? So depending on your situation and how thrifty or how extravagant you are with spending, in general, I would say, you know, don't spend it. Save it for a rainy day. Stall the financial, you know, spending outflow of money. Okay, so that is going to need to that is something that you need to rein in for this month, because there is something that this needs to be allocated to, and I do feel it is going to be either linked to a property. It's going to be linked to a property, or it's going to be linked to the next phase in your life. Okay, but mainly, like, what I'm seeing is this money has already, you know, it's coming in, but it seems like it's going to come out again very quickly, possibly in early July. So keep a really tight rein on this so that it's not going out just as soon as it comes in, and be very careful about how you're spending your money. Yeah, the cards are suggesting that, you know, you take some time to really think about, you know, expenditures, like financial expenditures, okay? And for a lot of you, what I am sensing here is this is also, you know, so the cards are like, this is coming in first, and then the Three of Cups comes in later. So this could also, I mentioned, you know, the love triangle situation. It could have happened, and now you're getting over it, okay? So just know that old things, or things that were not built on solid foundation, had to be stripped away so that you can emerge in a better place. Okay, this is actually a very good card to get in the upright position. It indicates celebration. It indicates reunion with old friends, with people who are emotionally supportive of you. I do feel that a lot of you in the past have been in wrong relationships, possibly with like water signs. A lot of you have been in unhealthy relationships, wrong relationships, and even financially draining relationships as well. You or the other person was like, there was a sense of like codependency, and you're probably dealing with someone who's kind of like amorphous, like they're not overly ambitious, for example. They, you know, take whatever life gives them, but they don't really go out and, you know, make their way in the world. So somebody who's not very ambitious, and you're going to let that type of people go. On top of that, you're going to re-examine who it is and what it is that you are attracted to, okay? So I do feel that there is a great change or shift in your paradigm, and it is going to allow you to merge yourself, or at least attract more emotionally nurturing people, people who care about your well-being, people who are true friends. And at the same time, it might bring about old friendships, okay? There might be old friendships, not romantic relationships. I highly advise against it, mainly because relationships end for a reason, okay? So it's best not to go to them. But I do feel like friendships, emotionally satisfying friendships that have a lot of depth, in which the other person gets you, so you don't have to like suffer from, you know, over explaining yourself all the time. So I do feel on the heel of this, you're going to be able to broaden your friend base, your social circle, and also reunite with old friends who just get you on a very instinctive level, okay? So don't fear this card. This is going to bring about new changes in your life, all for the better. And so the rest of this month, the last 2 weeks at least, is looking very good, okay? But I would say really take the time off, even to the very end of this month. I don't see a lot of momentum here. I don't see like a lot of like propulsion forward. So you're kind of picking up the pieces and trying to rebuild is what I'm sensing here. And it is, this energy is quite strong, and I would strongly advise you at the same time, this is house cleaning, this is doing last minute repairs, this is, cleaning up the wreckage from potentially the tower situation. This is also a card of assessment here altogether. So you're going to be quite busy, but I don't feel a very frazzled, a very kinetic energy here. So your energy is at least focused and directed, okay, at certain projects, certain things that you're going to have to take care of. And for those of you who are single and looking, I would say go socialize, but keep your expectations realistic. I do feel that until the very end of this month, you're not going to be able to meet high quality people, and it is very problematic to go on first dates during the Mercury in retrograde. And frankly, you have a lot of things going on in your life right now, on the work front, on the home front, on relationship fronts, friendships as well, that you really should attend to. So this is not an overly romantic energy. Um, yeah, and I apologize, Gemini. It's Mercury also in your birthday time. So, you know, I feel in general there are going to be celebrations on your birthday for those of you who are, awaiting that. And it's going to seem very sweet and very fun. Okay, it's going to be like a reunion with friends and things like that. Friends, family members, possibly. Um, but aside from that, on the love front, I do feel that for those of you who are dealing with like water signs from the past, let that go. For those who are dealing with like a Virgo in particular, this is going to be your pillar of strength here. I do feel this person is like very grounded, very rooted. It might be hard for you to establish like a strong emotional connection with them, but I do feel that they're going to be in your life and they're going to be your source of, strength, okay? In light of everything that's happening. So in general, the month itself is a very kind of like it's a month of it's a month of like reflection. It's a month of waiting, okay? So don't try anything new, and get all aspects of your life sorted out first so that you can at least enjoy your birthday month.